I was at CES this week, filmed a nice intro, but didn't turn the mic on. So let that be a lesson to me, I guess. I'm building a house right now, so let's start off with the futuristic kitchen stuff. First up, this AI toaster oven, air fryer, baking mechanism thing. These guys say this thing can perfectly cook a room temperature steak to medium rare in 90 seconds. It can make a pizza in 2 minutes. It can cook a fish, some burgers, whatever you put in there. It does this not with microwaves, but with propane of all things, and using temperatures of up to 1500 degrees. It has some kind of scanner and their proprietary AI that will recognize whatever food you put in there, and with the help of these propane burners that sort of pulse in and out, can cook things extremely fast, and according to them, better than you're able to do it ever before. Moving on, Samsung had a whole smart home suite setup where they had thermostats and doorbells and switches, a toilet seat, motion sensors. They had smart vacuums, smart stoves, a smart washer and dryer that does your wash and your dry in one go. You don't have to swap them between. It's just one machine. And one of their newest smart things was this refrigerator. I talked to the Samsung booth girl about it. I remember like 10 years ago when it was practically a joke to be like, one day even your refrigerator is going to have its own computer chip and a screen and need the internet. Well, that day has come. This thing has AI built into a camera or a set of cameras that will watch you as you either put your food into or take other food back out of the fridge. So in addition to keeping track of what you have in there, it keeps track of when things are going to start going bad. And using all of that information, it can take what it knows and suggest recipes for you to cook. And since they have a whole smart home thing that works together, when you choose one of these recipes, it'll just send it on over to the smart oven, which will preheat to the correct temperature. And then the oven has its own screen, so it can teach you how to make the thing if you're not already an accomplished cook, like I am not. Evidently, the oven and fridge can also take video calls or connect to the Samsung front doorbell thing. So if someone arrives while you're in the middle of cooking something, you can talk to them, or you can let them in, or you can make fun of their sweater, or whatever you do. Over at the Kohler booth, they had this very gaming keyboard-looking toilet that would see you coming, preheat the toilet seat and the floor around the toilet. It would remember user profiles, so once you've dialed in the bidet, it would never miss your butthole going forward. It also comes optionally with e-ink, so it can change colors, and all of this for just the low price of $20,000. For that same low price, and in that same booth, they were showing off their infinity tub, which will soothe you with infused vapor that smells like the forest, or whatever thing you choose. And as the water spills over the edge, it's collected, cleaned, filtered, heated back up to the temperature that you prefer most while taking a bath. If that $20,000 price tag makes the ringing in your ears a little louder and the sound around you sort of muffle a little bit when you hear it, they've got you covered with an entry-level infinity tub for less than half that price. Car charging has gone wireless now. There were multiple different companies talking about how they could charge your electric car without the discomfort of putting your hands on a plastic handle and jamming it into the side of the thing. This one even had a little model in case the concept was difficult to grasp. Looks like cars are getting easier to park starting next year too. For instance, this car can just drive straight sideways, so the parallel parking skill that you're super proud of is a thing of the past now. Not only that, but multiple car companies were showing off these sort of bumper displays to portray your intentions to the world around you. This one even faintly projected arrows onto the crosswalk in front of it while a pedestrian was crossing. I'm gonna do a separate video about vehicle stuff because there's so much of it, but just for a second, let's take a look at how we're tiptoeing one step closer to the Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator future with these driverless heavy equipment vehicles. They can either be driven remotely with a cool arcade simulator thing, or they can just go about their business via futuristic AI, which will definitely not lead to the certain demise of our civilization as we know it. Like, yeah, it's cool to give AI to the machines that are capable of digging their own rivers or, pushing down a building. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be just fine. Just give me that UBI. I'm ready for a life of leisure. Anyway, AR VR goggles are getting smaller finally. If you followed my channel for like over a year now, I predicted this. This company, XReal, was showing off a pair of AR goggles that are just a little bigger and weirder looking than just regular glasses. The picture that you see through them was impossible to capture with my camera, but it was pretty much just as clear and responsive as my HTC Vive Pro 2 headset, which is this big wired headset that I would definitely never just wear on a plane. Although, why not? They said they were working on software that would show navigation and phone calls and play videos and just give notifications. So you can just be walking down the street wearing these glasses and you'll just see what you would normally look down and look at your cell phone for. And I'm pretty sure once some company makes a version of these things that are basically indistinguishable from a pair of regular glasses, two things are gonna happen. One, we're gonna see people making very odd gestures in public, like these two people were while they were changing some of the settings in their AR goggles so I could look through them. They never got them to work, and unfortunately, I couldn't make a little video about their product. I wanted to. Remember when those jawbone Bluetooth hands-free earpieces were new with cell phones? And you'd see people in public who just looked like they were crazy because they were talking to themselves because cell phones were kind of new and that was a surprise to us? Well, I do, because I'm old, and this will be like that. These things are definitely coming. My personal guess is 2027, 2028. And when they do come, number 2 is that we will quickly have these distant memories of a time before pretty much everyone wore glasses. Mark my words, by 2030, everyone wears glasses all the time. People won't stare at their phone as much because they'll just be blankly staring off at the distance, because in reality, they're actually watching Fargo as they walk down the street. Accidental eye contact will be weird because you can't really see what a person is watching when you approach them with these goggles on. Ooh, I'll bet selling pickup lines like scripts for what to say to people in public will be a thing. Bring on the future. Next up, LG made a huge deal about and built a big robotic display to show off their transparent TVs. I saw Linus talk about this like 3 days ago already because he's got a whole team that takes the videos he makes and immediately edits them and puts them up on YouTube like 100 times faster than I can. But nevertheless, clear TVs. I'm not completely sure how to use this, at home at least. Like the wall behind my TV isn't particularly interesting. Although I suppose if you have one of those on your desk, like a computer monitor, and someone sits down for a meeting with you, you could keep the screen directly between the two of you and you could pop that up to show them whatever thing you're talking about. I guess that it could be kind of a cool, useful thing. I went to the Samsung announcement presentation and they were showing off this little home robot, this little personal robot thing called Bali, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to buy one right away. Not because I need it, but I want it. This thing will apparently be able to entertain your dog while you're not at home and feed it through your smart dog feeder thing. It can talk to all of your other smart home stuff, so since it's following you around the house, you can tell it to turn the lights on or preheat the oven or whatever. You know, things you absolutely do not need a robot to help you do because you already have Alexa or Siri or Google Home thing, whatever they call that thing. But Alexa doesn't greet me at the door or follow me to my bedroom, then I want that. This cool French robot couldn't really do anything yet, but it could stand on its own and it made really expressive facial expressions and it could make eye contact. These guys had a machine that would sit outside your house, kind of like an air conditioner unit, and it would produce 100 gallons of clean drinking water a day, literally by just pulling it out of the air. Might not work as well in Las Vegas, actually. It's super dry there. And this is no joke either. There are a lot of futurists who think the next major world war won't be about oil or territory, but it'll be about water. Evidently, our drinkable water supply here on Earth isn't necessarily keeping up with everything else. So it's going to be clean water that the world freaks out about over the coming decades. Desalination is expensive and difficult, but this thing can apparently just squeeze water out of the air. Runs on about 900 watts. They're making one that's like a personal size, like it goes in your truck bed, one that's like a house size, like this one here, it's yay big. And then they're making like a neighborhood size and a city sized model of this thing. So this thing, while not as immediately exciting as a glowing toilet, is probably one of the more important inventions to come out of CES 2024. Anyhow, last but not least for this video anyway, is a houseplant. It has been bioengineered to pull 30 times as many pollutants out of the air as a normal houseplant. So just put a few of these things around your house and breathe cleaner air forever. Interestingly though, they did say you have to sort of re-up the plant's special abilities with this serum that they give to you to feed to it. So subscription services for the win. That's part of CES 2024. Goodbye.